The notion of career has changed. I see a lot more attention on everything that gives purpose and sense to work than in my generation. When I started working, we didn't discuss purpose a lot. So the discussions I can observe today it's certainly about the career people want to have, but it's more about the purpose. So the platform they're looking within a company, so asking, what can this company really bring to me so that I can develop? My name is Marianne Janik, and I'm the CEO of Microsoft here in Germany. Well, my main job as a CEO is certainly, to really run what we call the business. So the business is multifaceted. The most important and certainly the most joyful topic for me personally is obviously to build up great talents for our business here in Germany, to have a very diverse team around me, but also to include, that Microsoft, we are a global company and we have a lot of colleagues working out of Germany for customers sitting in other parts of the world. So be very inclusive of everybody working out of Germany. And the second point that is dear to my heart is obviously our customers, the big corporation, but also the small businesses here in Germany, and our partners, because here in Germany and everywhere in the world, our business grows with partners and through partners. I think, people are very different. We need all these different pictures people have of their future, how they want to go for it. And as a company, it's important to embrace all of that and to acknowledge that people are different. We love people getting out of their comfort zone. So that's certainly something that is super valuable as a company if you have people that have seen different things, different perspectives, and have grown. And certainly as an employer, to be very attentive to support different career paths. People change during their lives and during their career. So sometimes, you can even starting with a very purpose-driven vision, aspiration, and then get a little bit more, I would call it conservative in your career. So that's the beauty about it, to find companies or a company at the best that can support these kind of changes and development in your life. We are in a period of transition, that it's super important as an employer to be very close to your people, to understand what's actually driving them, how you can attract talent at the end, because nobody's going to work for a company that doesn't provide, the platform you need as an individual. I think today HR really is at the point where HR really matters. I've seen, during my career that HR did not have a say at the table 30 years ago. This has so much changed. So an HR person today for me is really a business person and somebody there to really empower and enable people in their career. So to do that, I think you need very different skills that you needed 30 years ago. This training and skilling topic for me is at the end, why human beings are actually doing it. I think this is profoundly because you want to be relevant. You want to be relevant for the work you're doing, but you also for yourself, feel that gives you self-confidence, that you are being relevant for your job and future jobs you want to do. And if we take this notion of relevance and make it really central to the messaging, it is possible for companies to develop these kinds of programs. I think they need to be targeted. Every company should really be intentional about learning and skilling. So it needs to be part of the culture, it needs to be communicated, and it needs to be praised as well from the leadership. As Microsoft, we went exactly through this journey of, a huge company transformation. And while we were, building our vision, looking also at, building org capability, the whole thing of reskilling and being as clear as possible to say, look, this is what we have today, this is what we're going to need in 5 years from now. I don't think nobody can say what's going to be in 10 years, but I think 5 years from now, more or less. And we've seen that this is not happening by itself. So it's absolutely important to first have a good narrative for everybody in the company to say, look, that's the journey. We're starting here. That's where we want to go. That's the aspiration. We're going to take you along. The German economy needs more intentional work on that. We're skilling a lot of people, don't understand me wrong, but we don't skill for something, we just skill. And getting the right data, what is needed for the economy, data for the economy, data for a company, and then having those skilling programs to take people along is an art. For us, this new world of work is really about inclusion of these different, I would call them life models, people have and are allowed to have and should have, and then see how technology can really support this. As Microsoft, we've been obviously, in different parts of the world in a different way, but looking at certificates, at, university certification and things like that. I think it's changing now. We're moving. I'm not saying we're there, but we're very clear that this is something we need to take into consideration. And obviously, thinking about when you embark in this journey to really fully embrace opening your doors for people who have a very, very different background, that you need also in the course of their career, at some point also look how you can train and support them in their development in a very consistent way. Because you will not have everything you thought, those people would bring with fancy diplomas. It's a journey. COVID has shown that today, more than ever, we need to be able to find the right talent, even on a global base. But then the most important is not to have the talent, it's to retain the talent and to develop the talent. Then on the other side, you have, a lot of companies seeing that their business is changing, evolving. So you need to have maybe a different talent base. You need to develop this talent base. But the concept Cobrainer is offering and this vision of this skills-based enterprise, I think is great.